shit, Charity. It was a disaster. The kid was arrested.
I'm sorry, Roy. He seemed like a real nice kid, really. The attack was stupid, but I already knew it didn't work.
You got a lot of good information, apparently.
Some young person came here to hide just after. Judy. She told me what happened. And there's also someone sniffing around your place. A girl works for the General.
That'd be Devotion. She's his right-hand man, armed, from what I understand.
My poor Roy. You have to decide. You're going to need allies if you want to help the boy. And scenes I doubt the Resistance can put up with honor and vice versa. You should go talk to the two women. See what they suggest.
Greetings, Mr. Temperance. I've been ordered to see if you've thought things over.
It's not really a good time. One of my friends,
We know, so the General has a proposal for you. He can save the young man if you decide to work for him. The Technomancers aren't strong enough yet to counter his decisions. Join us and he'll live. On the other hand, I have to warn you that after saving him, we'll have to leave Shadow Lair for a mission in Green Hope.
What the hell is this all about? And who is this android? Her bodywork looks alright, but she seems kind of weird.
Tenacity. Meet Devotion. She works for General Honor Grant, who suggested I join him.
And now he's pretty persuasive with the kid in the hands of the Technomancers. Nah. If he can stop people tracking us, sounds like a pretty good deal.
I hope the General will keep his word. If he does, you can count on me. I'll go to Green Hope with you.
Innocent Smith, on your feet, follow me.
I've had your friend removed from the Source prison. For the time being, the Technomancers are unable to do anything to stop me.
Where is he?
I'm taking you to him. I had him transferred here, the Ministry. Do you want to go in?
No. If I do, he'll hate me. I betrayed his cause, his ideals, and he'll see it right away.
You were only fighting back legally and effectively. And you saved his life.
I doubt he'll see things the same way. Even if you fight the Technomancers, you closed your eyes on the deaths of the militia, and that's the only thing that matters to him. You should release him. He doesn't need to know I'm behind it all.
I can't release him right now. What do you think his friends would think if they saw him freed? They'd think he betrayed him. And they'd kill him.
You're probably right, but he can't stay here. He's still too close to the Technomancers. Send him to Shade Valley or some other small city, a long way away from all this shit.
All right. Devotion will escort him. There's nothing more you can do for him now. Ah, one thing. He had this notebook on him when he was arrested. There's a lot about you in it. Here, keep it.
Why am I still alive? Where are you taking me? Please, I need to know. Are you taking me to a work camp? You know Roy? Temperance?
Forget it. Enjoy the trip.
I've read this diary that Innocence kept, which Honor has given to me. Everything he went through since he got to camp is in it. His story is moving, even if I realize that maybe I didn't make him tough enough. I didn't get him ready for what was ahead. He talked about the people he met, what we did. He even wrote whole pages on what I did since he joined the Resistance. I knew the Resistance had good sources, but I didn't think he'd hear about me trying to stop the serial killer. Nor that Mary and Tenacity were with me now. In fact, I was a bit embarrassed to realize that I was the hero of the book. Maybe that's why I feel kind of obliged to keep it going. I have to finish this story so he can read it for himself when he comes back from exile. There we are. Green Hope. You know, it's not that different from what I've seen in other places. The dusty old hydroponics farm, crumbling under the wind and the war. When you think of everyone who died here for this. I was kind of expecting something greener, less desperate, too.
There was a lot of fighting here during the war. Lots of the buildings were destroyed. It was probably a lot more like you pictured it before. But I don't think we should hang around. General Honor is waiting for us in the western part of the town. You're surprisingly soft. Why leave your enemies alive? Didn't they attack you?
That shock you?
When I carry out a mission for the General, I have to admit I don't put on the kid gloves. I'm just a bit surprised, that's all.
What point is there in killing these people? What, for their serum? I've already beaten them. They're out of it. They won't be in any hurry to attack me again.
When you put it that way, I understand better. What can I do for you?
I wanted to ask you.
I was born in Shadowlair and lived there most of my life. Even if since the war, I've been doing a bit of traveling, of course. But I was always a citizen of Aurora. What about you?
I was born in Shadowlair too. I basically grew up at the source and then ran away as soon as I could.
I see.
How'd you start working for the General? You're really young.
I crossed paths with the General when I was about 10. Took me on as a messenger, and as I got older, he gave me more and more things to do.
Are you and he lovers?
No, we never have been. The General has always been very respectful. But why are you asking?
I was wondering if you and him, if you were single.
I am. I've never really had a lot of time for relationships, unfortunately. What about you?
No, since I escaped, I haven't really had time for that like you.
I understand. And being alone isn't always easy. But let's talk about something else.
You said the General took you under his wing when you were really young. Don't you have a family?
My parents died when I was around 10, just after my brother disappeared. I'm an orphan.
How did it happen?
My mother had an accident at work. They said she was nowhere near as careful as she used to be, and my father became an alcoholic. He died just after he more or less put me in with a friend of his from the army, General Honor Grant.
And how did your brother disappear?
I don't know what happened. I was still really young. He was just a toddler, and one day he disappeared. My parents said he was kidnapped. It's a touchy subject. I'd rather talk about something else.
You've known the General for ages. What can you tell me about him?
He's an excellent strategist and a soldier at heart. Sometimes he's real strict, even hard, but he's always thinking about Aurora. He defends the Guild like it was his mother, and I defend him.
Why do you defend him like that? What ties you to him?
Even though he's not always been that warm with me, he raised me since I was 10. And that's a good enough reason in my eyes, and he's a man who generates loyalty.
What do you think about the Resistance's cause?
They're agitators. They only want chaos. The guild is already teetering, and without a general, it would have fallen already. Sure, they're not as dangerous as the technomancers, but they raise havoc, which is something we don't need right now.
You're a unique person, Devotion. Beautiful and, terrifying.
Why are you telling me that? Do you like me?
Yeah, I like you a lot. Does that upset you?
No, not at all. I'm not really used to that kind of thing. I like you too, but I don't think we should be talking about that here, do you?
Do you know this place well?
I came here with the general during the war. It's one of the most productive hydroponic sites in the region. I mean, it was. The war did a lot of damage to the installations, but it's still a key place for a guild. If it were restored, it'd be an incredible source of wealth.
What do you think about the technomancers?
It seems difficult to generalize with you, but most of the ones I've met are unstable, egotistical, and hungry for power. But of course, I understand that with the training you get, and the gift that makes you different, it's gotta change the way you act.
You think I'm like them?
No. Probably because you left the source.
Or maybe I left the source because I wasn't like them.
True. I didn't look at it that way. Sorry if I insulted you.
I wanted to tell you something else.